Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Hi guys, welcome back. We are now doing our.
Speak.
We're not.
Yeah. No, stop.
Good.
Yes.
Okay, guys, welcome back. We are now doing our first breakout, and this one's all about looking good, feeling good, and a lot about what not to do and then influence by. I think on social media we get bombarded with all kinds of images that are realistic, unrealistic, face tuned or not, all kinds of tips. I don't know, drink this in the morning and you will lose 10 kilos of weight. So all of that, there's a lot of information out there, there's a lot of misinformation out there. We have two experts here who know their stuff really well, and we will look to them to help us distinguish fact and fiction. I think that's what we should talk about. And if you guys have any questions, please raise your hands and we'll try and get to you as well, right? Okay, so how do you look and feel your best? Let's start with looking your best, right? Skin, hair,
Everything is, and that's something that I realized very early on. It's people start and stop a fitness goal, a fitness plan because they are either getting married or they want to lose weight or it's the new year, and that's why they start, or they start looking after their skin because some event is coming up. But the main important thing to note is that you need to continue to, that's your motivation for that journey, but you need to stay on that path for a long time and make a lifestyle switch into that. So do something which is actually more manageable, which is more doable, which is not crash, which is not something which is, you know, any of these do-it-yourself hacks which are just, you know, just there because somebody else is doing it. You've got to actually know what works for you, make a lifestyle switch, find things which are more balance oriented that you can do maybe 3 times a week. And that's how you stay on the path, something which becomes a part of you. You've got to make this whole looking good, feeling good, emotionally feeling well, getting good skin as a part of who you are as a person.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. It's you know, you're not just exercising to achieve some goal, because then you're not going to stick with it. You're exercising, or you're doing skincare, or you're taking a facial, or you're doing a mask at home because it makes you feel good about yourself. It actually helps you in the long run. It makes you a healthier, happier person. I mean, you know that you're doing something nice for yourself. You know, you want to do things that are good for you, that help you. Like, we all know exercise reduces depression. We know exercise improves mental clarity. We know exercise improves your concentration. It improves your work. It improves your life. It gives you structure, you know, like, that's so great. A good skincare regimen prevents a lot of acne. It prevents blackheads. It prevents aging. I mean, who wants to age? I don't want to age. I mean, I don't age, by the way. I don't age. I've decided. That has stopped. I'm not aging ever again. So, you know, we want to do things for ourselves that help us feel good, look good, and be good. I'm not telling you to spend like a lakh of rupees on skincare products and, you know, do 1,000 different treatments or hire like the most expensive trainers and work out like 12 times a week. That's not what I'm telling you to do. I'm saying put it in balance in your life. Make sure you dedicate a certain amount of time, 5 times a week to exercise, or Sumaya says 4 times a week is enough, or 3 times a week is enough. I say 4 or 5 times. I'm a little more stricter than her. But, you know, do a good skincare regimen. See if you have half hour to go in for something that makes you feel good and gives you a bit of self-love as a facial and also prevents problems once a month. That's just a bit of time that you've taken out for yourself. How much time do we spend wasting on like TikTok or Instagram? Or, you know, we waste that time when we could actually be doing things that make us better, healthier, prettier. You know, what's wrong with that? Handsomer.
This idea about consistency, right? Like, I know for a fact that I'm one of those types that if I'm doing something, I'll do it 20,000%. You know, if I'm going to work out, I'm going to work out 2 hours a day. I'm going to do it like 6 days a week, and I'm going to be like really like on it.
She's always called me when she's hit herself against the wall.
Yeah.
And then she goes missing.
But then you're punishing
You know?
yourself.
Yeah.
Don't punish yourself.
My relationship with all of this is all or nothing. You know, if I'm
Yeah.
doing it, I'm 20,000% on it, and if I'm not, I'm really not doing something. So it's kind of this yo-yo that you're kind of on.
Which is the thought process you actually need to change. And honestly,
Yes.
this is something that I really, it's not about me realizing, it's just the way we are as people. We're so surrounded with things that are going to distract you. Being a mother distracts you, you're working and we're trying to work as well and, you know, look good. So there is no all or nothing, because there will be days where there is nothing, and like today I haven't worked out, but you know, I work out every other day, so it really doesn't matter if I haven't worked out today. And it's not going to pull me down if I haven't worked out. And maybe when I go home and I really feel like it, I'll pull out a mat and do like 15 minutes of just core work, you know. So even something is better than nothing. It doesn't need to be all in or all out.
Yeah, I'm trying to kind of do that now, right?
Yeah.
Trying. I'm not there yet. So
And following and watching Netflix, yes, Netflix is fun. I love Netflix and Amazon Prime and Hotstar. I mean, I love them all. But, you know, using that time sometimes, maybe exercise at the same
Yeah.
time. Maybe put on a nice mask, do a good gua sha massage, do a good home facial massage. You know,
it's
there's a lot of things you can
double
do.
duty your time, right?
Yeah.
If you want to Netflix and chill and work out, that's fine.
Yeah.
Netflix and chill and mask, that's
You do
fine
know
as
what
well.
Netflix and chill means, right?
Netflix,
I do.
Netflix, the next is going to be Netflix, mask, and on the treadmill.
Yes.
So the pores are open to absorb everything.
Okay,
in the mask.
Exactly.
So now let's get to some actual concrete advice and tips, right? So Sumaya, 4 to 5 times a week is when you're saying that we should work out.
I think 4 hours a week, however you want to break that up, it could be half an hour consistently 7 days a week, or it could, you need to put in 4 hours of some kind of activity a week, because for everything else you're just sitting and doing nothing in terms of physical. Even me, you know, even though we're becoming so aware of what we should do, and there's so much information that is going to help us achieve that, but if you actually look within, we're becoming more and more sedentary, and even we don't even get up to get a glass of water. Some Didi or Bhaiya is doing it for us. So we need to just generally get a little more moving and a little more active, and then besides that, just put 4 hours a week of some kind of work around it.
You know, I read something really interesting, and tell me what you think, is that actually, you know, when the older times, you know, we were all hunter-gatherers, constantly moving, constantly active. You know, even now, like, there are tribes that have that same lifestyle. And we've become so sedentary. In fact, the stress response is a fight or flight response, right? So when you're stressed, all of these neurochemicals go through your body, and it actually is telling you to like run. You're supposed to run. You're supposed to move. You're supposed to move your body. Nowadays, we get stressed and we stay at home and like, you know, hide under the covers. We don't move. So in fact, when you're stressed, the best thing you could do is exercise.
You know, I've got my best ideas on a treadmill. Every time I've felt emotionally, you know, that I've hit a roadblock, or at work someone's really let me down and I can't think, and I can date back to so many turning points in my life which I've actually solved on the treadmill or in a park where I'm walking, because that's the time. So besides the physical benefit of it, that's the time where you actually just quiet with yourself and you have nowhere to go and you're struggling with sweating and getting tired and thinking whether you should give up, and that's the me talk that you have with yourself, because you're on the treadmill, you're looking at the last 10 minutes and you're like, should I do it, should I not do it, karu nahi karu, and that's the talk that you have with yourself. I think a lot of what exercise gives you is that time which we're all lacking, is talk to yourself. I don't remember when is the last time you actually did that. So when you stick yourself alone in a room or in a gym or somewhere, you actually end up talking to yourself, which is really important.
Motivating yourself.
Yeah.
You're talking to yourself in a positive way, not in a negative
And also,
way.
it's those negotiations that you have with yourself, right? So, I will run till the song ends, or I will run till the timer
Totally.
gets there, or I will run till the kilometer gets that. So it's that form of negotiation that you do, and you're in control. I think that is what, at least for me now, I mean, that's what it's, as you all know, I'm going through an interesting time right now, and workout is what's keeping me sane.
Yeah.
As long as I'm kind of lifting weights, if I'm running in the morning, the rest of the day will basically fall. So,
and you know, workout could be anything. It doesn't really mean that you need to get to a gym. It doesn't really mean that it could just be you going for a walk around your colony. But it needs to be a little more serious, and you need to feel your heart rate pumping. Yeah. You know, a walk with a friend is great, but that's not, I mean, it's some form of exercise, but till you feel your heart being challenged, that's when you get into the exercise zone. So anything which doesn't have to be a gym, it doesn't have to be you getting to somewhere. It could just be your yoga mat and you at home. There's so many apps. You guys have access to so much content. You just need to tap into it, open it, and just 10 minutes.
Yeah, I use a trampoline sometimes.
Yeah. So, I mean, exercise is like 20% of fitness, right?
Totally.
But I think diet is actually 80%.
Diet is 90% of everything, even skin.
And
Yes.
Kiran basically her famous thing is just zip up, right? Whatever it is, Just
no,
don't.
not zip up. Well, it's more like,
Yes, it is, honey. Let's say it.
it's cut it down.
Okay.
Cut it out.
So diet is basically, I mean, and you guys are, I mean, all of you are the best ordering in generation that I've kind of witnessed, right? Any given time, there'll be 3 courier bhaiya sitting outside trying to get junk food into the
World
office.
of cloud kitchens.
Yeah, and I mean, we keep businesses in play because of the amount of ordering that we do. How many of you can cook? How many of you do cook?
Oh, that's amazing.
That's not bad. I mean, if you're
that's
just
so
impressing
good.
them, I don't believe you.
I am not one of your.
Yeah. So this whole
capability.
idea of and our relationship with food is getting so complicated, right? And how do you simplify all of that? And what is the reality behind eating well? Or is there something as eating well?
You know, a lot of people walk into the gym, including the boys, by the way, who want the 8th pack and it's not showing. And, you know, they're looking at me and saying, what are you doing? And what's the trainer doing? And I was like, dude, it's 95% what abs are made in the kitchen. They're not made here. They're not made in the gym. So it's really important to see what you're eating. And it's the time there's a big shift of nobody's going on a calorie deficit diet anymore. You shouldn't be doing that if you're doing that. And I see that happening with people who always have that negative emotional relationship with food. Either they're on a diet or they're off a diet. That whole yo-yoing has to go. You can't be on and off something. You're on a continuous path, which is when you'll actually give yourself and not beat yourself up when you've gone out and eaten a Chinese meal. That's fine if you've eaten it. But you need to 80% be eating well, which means eating food higher in value than you being on a diet, but they are foods that are good for you. So for example, if there were cookies lying there, like 1 cookie and 20 almonds, I would eat 20 almonds from there. They would be more calorie dense than a cookie would be, but that cookie is loaded with sugar. It's going to fly your insulin all over the place. It's going to play havoc with your hormones. You'll get skin issues. It'll store weight in your gut. It causes inflammation. So it's just the calorie of a cookie versus calorie of 20 almonds. There's a lot of difference. So eat foods that you can look down and feel that they're, you know, nutritionally dense. They're not as processed as they need to be. So as close as possible to nature. I know it's easier said than done, but once you start eating that way, you know, in 8-10 days, give yourself 14 days to feel the benefit. It's only when you feel the benefit where you realize that, oh, you know, this is really doing, and that's what keeps you motivated. The 14 days is what you need to stick out.
Yeah, so the way that I view it is a little bit similarly. One is that I think that intuitively we all actually have a sense as to what's good for us or not.
Yeah.
Like how many of us will eat like pizza the night before and then the next day you feel like complete crap, right? That's your body saying that this probably didn't suit me, you know, or you have dairy and you love that paneer and you really need that paneer makhni, but the next day, you know, your tummy's a mess. I mean, you guys know actually intuitively your own bodies, but we're just not listening anymore. We're reading too much, we're intellectualizing too much. We stop listening to our own bodies. If you listen to your own body, then you'll automatically understand if, you know, gluten is good for you or not. Some people can eat gluten like no one's business and they're chilling and they're like, yeah, I'm good, but some people eat gluten and they're a mess. You know, so there's so much intuition that's involved in listening to you. There are things that we do know that are problematic. Sugar, we were never designed to eat this much sugar. There's sugar in anything and everything that you have, your juices, your packaged foods. I mean, whatever you buy, it now has so much added sugar. We were not designed for that. Sugar kills your body, kills every system in your body, ages you, makes you ugly. Sorry guys, you know, like these are things that are proven, and the amount of sugar that we eat is horrifying. And sugar is not just sugar. Things like maida, things like any processed item where it had high fructose corn syrup. Oh my God, that stuff's disgusting. You know, like that stuff is slowly destroying you. A can of Coke, a can of soda, you know, like that's just pure sugar. You're in 1 can of soda, you are having more sugar than what you're daily allowed. 1 can. You know, just think about that. That's insane. And all it's doing is messing up your system. And then when we're looking at alternatives like artificial sweeteners, we're doing the same thing. It's causing the same insulin spike, it's causing the same problems, and you're just still as addicted to the sugar craving. You're not changing it. That's big. I believe anything processed is a problem. I found dairy causes a lot of acne and hormonal issues. You know, these are things that we've shown, we've proven, we have tons of data on. You know, these are things that you know, and everyone says to me, you know, but my grandmother says that doodh to zaruri hai, you know, and all of that. And you know, maybe there was a time when our bodies could tolerate more than it could now.
But also the milk, I mean, today
the milk that we get.
hormonally laden anyway. So
Hormones, antibiotics,
Yeah.
the corn fed, they're corn fed now, so it's completely different. It's all pesticides and whatever they're eating. You're eating everything that cow is eating. You're getting the hormones of the cow. You're getting the pus. By the way, milk is full of pus from a cow, like white blood cells, infection. You're getting all of that, and you're saying yum. You know, so I mean, I don't know. And I'm not saying, you know, cut it out 100%. I know it's a habit. I know it's an emotional thing, but reduce it as much as you can. I mean, we know it's not that great for you. If you want calcium, there's so many great foods full of calcium. It's insane, you know, like vegetables. Guys, remember vegetables? Remember those? You know, you can even air fry them if you really want to make it like an indulgence. You know, air fry kale, air fry spinach. You can get like that spinach chaat. Have you ever had that in Prince?
It's amazing.
Oh my God, that Prince chaat place, that spinach chaat, that stuff's amazing.
It's amazing.
You know?
And we do know that your generation is struggling with all this knowledge about eating well and eating healthy, but I know when you come to work, you're probably not carrying a tiffin and you're constantly ordering from outside, knowing that you shouldn't be ordering from outside. So I don't think you lack the knowledge of what you should or shouldn't be doing. It's the logistics of it that make you turn away from it. So I think that little tips that I can give you, and you know, which really do help, that always carry a whole fruit in your bag,
Nuts.
and nuts. Prep yourself, you know, in your bottle, carry a little bit of coconut milk. These all things, I mean, I work all day, so even I have little tiffin. So people say to me, oh, you know, you eat well because that's your life. I'm like, dude, no, I also travel. I'm in the car. If you go to my car right now, there are 6 boxes. But it's an effort that I've put in. And you know, when I leave the house, they know that I'll have a coconut in there, I'll have nuts in there, I'll have a fruit in there, I'll have some kind of dried fruit which is easy to eat. Could be just brown rice ka pulao, which I eat in the car, or it could be quinoa ka pulao. So it's not that hard to carry food, because I'm looking at all of you and like, dude, what about who's going to make it? Just make it at home, even if it's made the night before. It's better to eat the sabzi of the leftover dinner than to order the pizza. So at least 5 out of the 6 days when you're at work, eat food that you've got from home, you know, and you know what's in there, because all this stuff, even though when you go into a food hall and pick up stuff which says gluten-free, when you turn back and read the label, there's more harmful stuff in there. I'd rather you eat the gluten bread, because to substitute, to make it not gluten, they're putting all the other stuff which is just not, it's taking away all the value of being gluten-free.
So eat whole, eat real, eat whole, eat clean.
You know, dal chawal, there's nothing wrong with dal chawal. So if you carry dal chawal from home, it's fine.
Yeah, so I think this whole idea of
I love dal chawal.
eating with awareness, working out at least 4 days a week, whatever it means working out for you. Then we come to skin, right? And I mean, I hear a lot of conversations in and around. Everyone's worried about their skin. It's acne, it's playing up. A lot of it is diet, a lot of it is also exercise as well. But what is the bare minimum that we should be doing for good skin? Because here they all kind of are young, it's good skin right now. And how do you make sure that you're able to maintain it as you go forward, and you don't actually have to go and resort to extreme things when you're much older?
So there's actually a lot of things that we all can do, you know, like keep it really simple, by the way, guys. Like, you don't need a huge routine. You need a good cleanse. If you don't have any skin problems, then you need a good cleanser, I think an anti-pollution serum like vitamin C or cream, and a sunblock. You know, you don't need a moisturizer if you're very oily. There's a lot of things you guys don't need, and you don't need to spend like 20,000 bucks on a crazy cream. No one needs to do that. So I've saved you money. I'm very excited, okay? Now, if it sounds like a miracle and it calls itself a miracle, it's probably not a miracle. There is no miracle, all right? Everything in life is about putting the effort in and hard work. If it seems too good to be true, it's definitely too good to be true, all right? That's something to hold on to for the rest of your life in everything. So like a anti-pollution serum and a sunblock. At night, you know, if you're above the age of 25, you can start anti-aging, because that's the time when your collagen degradation is more than your collagen creation. And it doesn't have to be like a retinol. It can even be like a bakuchiol. I don't know if you guys know about that. That's a natural ingredient that's derived actually from the babchi seed in India. It can be that. It can be polyhydroxy. It's so cool.
Really?
Yeah, it's really cool.
I've not heard about it.
Yeah, but that's good for like the 25 age, not for us.
Thank you.
It's not for us.
Appreciate
Yeah.
that.
But Polyhydroxy acids, those are very gentle, you know, they're really good at skin rejuvenation and also anti-pigmentation. Alpha hydroxy acids, they're a little bit stronger. Retinol is not a problem, but sometimes it makes you dry. You know, so start that. And again, moisturize if you feel normal skin, combination skin, or dry skin. Oily skin, not required if you don't want to. You know, so that's one. The second thing is, you know, like home gua sha massage actually, or home facial massage. Whenever you apply your creams, always apply upward motion and hard. Don't go like really soft, you know, don't go like this. Actually go really nice and hard. You'll actually improve the facial contours on your own, at least a bit. If you notice, all of us are staring down at our smartphones, so we're getting that sagging really young. You know, everyone has these lines at like 25. I'm like, why? You know, no one needs a nasolabial fold or smile lines at 25. But it's really from all the usage of our phone. You know, so try and look upward, you know, when you're using it. Or, I mean, you don't keep looking downward. You're just literally creating necklines. You're creating weakening of the skin, and you're creating these sort of folds that typically happen after the age of 30s. You know, you don't want it now. But again, that massage. And the Chinese gua sha massage is amazing. It actually does help with facial toning. These are things you can do at home. 2 minutes, a few times a week, nothing wrong with that. I do like facials in India now, especially after the age of, you know, if you have a tendency towards blackheads and now with all the pollution. So I do think that facials are necessary once every month, once every few months even, because they do clean you out, and the cumulative effect of pollution in your skin is showing much more aging, much more pigmentation, much more acne. So I like facials that do actually clean you out, but if you can't do them, then just, you know, do whatever you can at home, maybe a nice mask. And then for anti-aging, you know, I think this is fine, but if you start to see the signs of aging, go for it, you know, a nice facial, a nice anti-aging peel, a nice laser facial. There's so many options.
Technology that's available to us kind of to sort it out, right? So let's kind of pause for now, and if the audience, I mean, if you guys have any questions, just kind of raise your hand, otherwise I can kind of keep going and asking stuff. Does anyone have any question about this? Yeah, Upalina, go.
I'm 28 and I feel like I already have a lot of clients because my job calls for doing makeup on a regular basis. So if I don't want to go for these expensive treatments and chemical peels and stuff, so I work out. So what are the other things that I can do at home which are affordable and it's good for like upliftment and tightening?
Let me just repeat that for the mic as well. So she's 28, she works out, she still feels that she's aging. So what can she do to stop that?
So like I said, the home facial massage, gua sha massage, get hyaluronic acid serums, you know, like, and line plumping serums. There's some great brands out actually in India, and they actually will help plump up those lines. Again, don't look downward. So the facials aren't as expensive as you think. For example, we just launched a range of mini facials for people on the go. So we have like a collagen boost facial for like $3,900, you know. So like you know, there are things like that you can also do that aren't as stressful as you think. But at home, like I said, this is upward facial massage, vitamin C serum or vitamin C cream, a topical retinoid or an alpha hydroxy acid, and definitely like a line plumping serum. Those are really good.
Cool. Yeah, please.
I have like combination and then of course really skin special system. I know everyone raves about the benefits of hyaluronic acid, but it's supposed to be very moisturizing. Is that good for someone who has combination peel or skin on?
So hyaluronic acid
For combination skin,
is hyaluronic acid good for you? So for combination skin, you can see hyaluronic acid is a natural ingredient that's already present in your skin. Okay, so it's a sugar that binds water. It can bind up to 20,000 times its weight in water. There's nothing wrong, just because you have combination skin, that means that you tend to make oil, sebum creation here, and here you're balanced, all right? Now hyaluronic acid is about skin dehydration. It's a completely different concept. Dehydration, dry skin, and dehydration and dry skin are two separate things. Dry skin means you make less oil. Dehydrated skin means you have less water. So having a hyaluronic acid serum will help bind water in your skin, but it has nothing to do with the oil secretion. So you can absolutely use a hyaluronic acid serum, and it's actually, or cream, and it's actually very good for you.
And I think now brands are also they will make a hyaluronic acid and they'll write sensitive skin, dry skin. So I think they change their consistency accordingly, don't they?
Well, it's not the hyaluronic acid that's the
Yeah,
problem then, it's
it's
the
the
other
cream,
components, the
that's
other
what I meant.
components, yeah. And then you want a hyaluronic acid that has a bunch of different weights, so that way it has all different types of efficacy, because if it's too big, then it's not actually entering your skin, but if it's too small, then it's not actually binding as much water on the barrier.
you find one that works for you, right at the back there.
Hi, Dr. Kiran. I'm Dipali. I work as an influencer associate. So I was just wondering, have you ever talked to influencers to talk about your skin journey?
What's the question? I can't hear it.
Have
Can
I,
someone
so
repeat
she's
the
asking, have I ever turned to influencers to talk about the skin clinic? So I actually try and do things much more organically, you know, which is that if someone, like it's not that I haven't invited ever, I have, but I find that like my own clients tend to be my best brand ambassadors. So people who want to come in and talk about it, you know, then they automatically do, you know, because if they like it. And I just think sometimes that's a bit more organic. But yes, I have done it and I have enjoyed the process. But I am trying to, I try and do things as authentically as I possibly can. So, because I really want to know what people's feedback is, what they experience, and how I can always improve. You know, to me, it's really important that I keep improving and I keep moving forward and I keep finding ways to give a better experience and result to my client.
Okay, we take one more question and then yes. Two of you, one of you speak.
So we're always working at really busy hours, and a lot of anxiety catches on, and how good a box of pizza feels versus how good a bowl of fruit feels is very different. How do we tackle the craving?
Dal chawal, garam dal chawal.
So,
Soul food.
Wait, let me repeat the question. So, when you're working out, working really late and you're stressed, a pizza is much more satisfying than a bowl of fruit.
the indulgence, I get it.
So then how do you cope with that?
You basically do the whole 80-20 rule. So you can't do pizza every night because you're stressed every night. Then you need to target the stress, the origin of the stress, because that's what it boils down to. But if you're eating pizza once a week because you're stressed, that's okay. So you need to do the 80-20 rule and stop thinking of food as being bad. But obviously you can't. You have to get to the point of why you're getting stressed, which is making you want to eat that pizza 7 days a week.
Actually,
Right?
Yeah, exactly. So that's exactly true. Like there's a few things that I would have to say about that. One is that when we have stress, we're not paying attention to, like, well, here's what I do, and I don't know what you think, is that like I used to, and I still do, but not as much, is that whenever I used to get stressed, I wouldn't be aware of what I was feeling, and I would just immediately turn to like that dark chocolate, or, I'd really want to go get pizza, or, I'd want to do those same things that you're talking about. But then I started becoming aware of myself. Okay, what am I feeling right now? And what am I trying to solve with this? So it's actually a lot about self-awareness, like there's no way in hell that any pizza can solve my problems. It's not. It's just going to give me, it's sugar, and these high sugar items are like a kick. They're like a dopamine hit. They're like a drug. Sugar is actually a drug. So, it's just one form of a drug. So we have to find ways to be aware of when we're just trying to get a kick versus what is it that's actually bothering us, which is exactly what you said.
It's actually, you'll notice, the more sugar you eat, the more sugar you crave.
Yeah.
So it's a vicious cycle. You need to get yourself out of that cycle. And you'll start noticing, if you pay a little attention starting today, when you eat a pizza and when you don't eat a pizza, see how your stomach feels the next day. The day you recognize that feeling, whether you're bloated, not bloated, are you feeling sluggish, are your rings fitting you, have you woken up in the morning and your face is looking bloated, what's going on? When you start looking at these changes, you'll start recognizing that these are foods that are not working for your system, and because you're feeling shit the next day is the reason why you don't want to eat it. So even if you're stressed, you're recognizing, oh shit, if I eat it right now, I'm going to feel so horrible the next day that you'll reach out for maybe not the whole pizza, one slice.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's
self-love versus
actually-
self-indulgence.
Yeah.
So
It's
recognizing why you're stressed, addressing the point of stress, right? You're not stressed because you're working out till late, right? So for example, say you're working till 10 p.m. every night. At that point is when you go to your reporting manager and say, listen, this is probably not
I'm
working.
not causing the stress. She's not causing the stress. Let me make that clear.
I say it all the time, go and have a conversation with someone saying, guys, this is not working for me, I need to do X, Y, and Z. So it's better for you to address the stress than to feed it by eating pizza, which is sugar, and then feeling shit again. So this is a cycle.
And guys, how old, what was the mean age, like 25?
Yeah.
You guys are too young to be stressed. You're talking to like a bunch of 40-year-olds,
I'm sorry, but I think their generation is more stressed
Yeah,
than we
but
were.
but that's also because you've taken a lot that you're not supposed to take in. I mean, you need to, we were just discussing this. I think we really fear for our kids who are in their teens right now, that there's just so much unnecessary pressure that you actually need to do a little bit of self-work to say that this is who I am, and this is what I'm going to do for myself, and I'm going to be a little selfish, and I will not go out for one day because I want to do this for myself, and I want to spend time at home, I want to go for a workout, and not being intimidated by what you're seeing on social media, because I can tell you that there's a huge lie sitting in that bubble. I feel there is some point of it that's waiting to burst.
Yeah. So I think
it has to.
I mean, okay, last is one other person who kind of, yeah. Kritika. Anything you should have first thing in the morning, not to feel bloated.
Just figure out what you ate last night, because if you ate good food last night, you won't be bloated the next morning. Secondly, you need to, they're all natural things, apple cider vinegar, they all have a place why you're doing it. So you need to figure out why you're doing what and not keep changing it. Supposing you're even doing apple cider vinegar, you're doing Zira water, whatever, you need to do it for 6 months for it to actually make a difference. You can't do 1 month this, 1 month that, 1 month that. But honestly, these morning routines, personally for me, I don't know, unless I've had a problem, so maybe after a baby, you're trying to lose weight and you have so much water retention, that's the only time I had a morning ritual I remember, which was more because I was looking for something that would take care of the water retention because I had a problem. But otherwise, I don't personally feel these morning rituals really work. If anything else, I notice a lot of people ingesting sugar on a fasting stomach, like fruit juice first thing in the morning. It's the worst thing you can do for yourself. You know, so just wake up and have your glass of water. You need to go to the loo, that's most important. So whatever it takes to go to the loo, that is what you need to have, you know.
So I'd come back from one of those retreats in Natmantan, and the guy said, listen, just have normal tap water, 2 glasses of those first thing in the morning, and you'll kind of clean out your system. And that's the most important thing to do.
Cleaning out your system, by the way, for aesthetics, to make your six-pack show, is all digestion. A lot of times the muscle is sitting there, and you can see, even I mean, so much for me as a woman, it depends on your hormones. Some days when I'm closer to my period, or some day where our hormone shift is different, I won't see the definition, but then there'll be a day where I'm really not doing anything different. I'll be looking in the mirror, I'm like, wow, maybe because I've eaten something that's helping me digest my food better, my hormones are settled. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on inside, which is not something that is which you can't see. So you just need to be consistent with whatever you choose.
I think that's a good thing to actually end on.
Yeah.
Be it health, diet.
Also, there is no magic here.
There is
no magic here.
We can tell you this. We're in our 40s, and I've been doing this since I was 15 years old. I still go to the gym today. When I was pregnant, not pregnant. Honestly, if there was a magic pill to stay fit, I would eat it. But there is no magic pill. I still stick my face in the gym, and I still eat healthy 80% of the time, and I still follow her gyan of no dairy. By the way, that changed a lot for me for leaving dairy. And I know as a doctor, you'd be like, it's very easy to say, but I did it myself. When she told me I had a little bit of I never had bad skin, and all of a sudden I had adult acne, and I didn't know how to deal with it. And that for me emotionally was a big problem, because I'd grown up being known for my skin, and all of a sudden 3 years of my life I was like, what's happened to your skin? And her one tip that she said, leave dairy. And I was like, here I write sport nutrition plans for everyone. Let me just try it myself. It took me 6 months, by the way, which is what I'm trying to say. It wasn't a 1 month thing. It wasn't a 2 month thing. I could see no difference in the 3rd month, but it took me 6 months to see that just leaving dairy, how much it changed my life. And having said that, it's not like I don't eat dairy. I will still have a bite of cheese now, because my hormones are probably settled. But for the first 6 months, when I totally left it, I totally left it.
Yeah, so we're talking consistency, we're talking sticking with the plan, and not looking for, and I'm kind of feedbacking this to myself right now, not looking for shortcuts or miracle cures anyway. Thank you so much, Kiran. Thank you so much, Sumaya. We really enjoyed this.